Put to the test by this 4-year-old boy, who's pushed his family to the edge. Super Nanny's laid down some boundaries
Ignore him.
and set about taking Cameron's temper tantrums in hand.
Come right down, okay, and say, you have a choice. Here are your crisps. You either sit at the table and eat them, otherwise I will take them away.
No.
Okay, look at him and say to him, here are your crisps.
Here are your crisps. Here are your crisps.
Cameron's tantrum has escalated.
Don't stand there to take a beating, girl. Get out the corner. You know where it's coming from. No, look, now you're in a cuffy fight. Up and arm, up and arm. Do not allow him to do this to you.
Hell.
I don't feel like I'm letting him though. I feel like
You are. Do not.
I know most of you is already boiling up now. You've already developed like 5 ways you're going to deal with that boy mercilessly in your head. Why would that mother not give that boy one loud, dirty slap to reset his head? The biggest mistake in that video is not the child. It's not even the mother. It's probably you who is watching this video right now. And calm down. Before you go ahead to criticize that mother, in as much as she's not doing some things right, she's already doing something most parents would not do. She's refusing to hit that child. She's admitting her insufficiencies and dropping her pride to seek professional help. Because trust me, the easiest thing to do at that point is to just give that child backhand. If he stops that nonsense after you beat him, then beating worked. Did it really work? Or the child became afraid of you? Because trust me, those two things are not the same thing. The question is not if the child stopped the behavior. The question is, what did the child learn? Because trust me, every single time you're disciplining a child, whether you like it or not, you are teaching that child. Recent research has revealed that parents who flog their children or parents who use any physical violent form of discipline are often the first persons to introduce violence to their children. Because you are subconsciously teaching that child that whenever he gets angry, he can hit people to pass a message across that they did something wrong. Years later, you wonder why that same child grows up to hit his wife because she cheated or because she disrespected him. Let me ask you something. How many adults today still have anger issues? People who can't control themselves once they get angry. People who hit their spouses and insult everybody around them once they are angry. Many of these adults already started manifesting most of these anger problems from childhood. And anytime those anger manifested, their parents responded with much more anger. Not because the parents hated them, but because that was the only method the parents knew as of that time. The only good thing that came out of flogging is that the child will fear their parents and always behave. At least when the parent is there. You will now hear people say, once that boy is seeing papa like this, he go just behave, or once that girl sights the mom like this, she go just coordinate. But what happens when mama and papa is not there? What happens when the child enters school, when the child starts to work, and when the child gets married? If your children only behave when you are there, then it's a sign you are doing something very wrong. Because you're not raising someone that will spend the rest of his life standing beside you. Children spend a huge part of their lives away from their parents, starting immediately they enter school. So tell me, is your goal to make your child fear you or to help your child control himself, especially when you would not be there? Do you have any idea what parenthood is? Parenting is the biggest recruitment where God has recruited you into an organization and has offered you the opportunity to partner with Him in producing the next generation of humans that will walk the earth. To make things easier for you, He equips you with a brand new brain straight from the manufacturer. All these trade sellers will say new open. Every word you speak, the way you respond to their emotions, and every actions you reinforce is helping to wire that brain. Ask yourself, as a parent, when your child gets angry and you hit that child, what is the exact lesson you are passing to that brain? Because trust me, anger is an emotion, and emotions are not beaten out of people. They are understood, managed, and gradually brought under control. So when you flog that child, you have not taught that child how to deal with anger, which is actually a life skill to develop. You have only managed to just get the child to behave at the moment. Now, before some of you say, Victor, are you saying we should allow our child to behave that way? Mbano, impossible. It's not me that will train a child that will behave in that way. I'm simply asking you a question. Is your intention to hit that child or to change the behavior? Because if it's to change the behavior, then there are much more better ways to do that more effectively. Because some adults are already saying, I could just use beating to reset that child's brain. Is the child a cow? Because if you have to use beating to reset the brain of a human, then what is the difference between that human and a cow? Training a child can be very, very challenging. But honestly, what trains a child more than flogging does is actually your lifestyle as a parent. What you subconsciously teach your children, even without knowing you did. Because a child will learn more from what he sees you do than from what you flog him not to do. Imagine a parent who doesn't know the act of self-control. How can you teach what you are not? And before some of you rush into the comment section and say, but spare the rod and spoil the child. Who told you the rod is king? It is already getting too long. So in my next teaching as a psychologist, I'm going to show you something psychologists have known for years. And this principle is so powerful that it doesn't just determine how your child behaves. It's also used to shape how an entire society behaves as well. Once you understand this principle, you will see why flogging is actually a lazy and ignorant inspired way of training the brain of a human being.